Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show. Today, Jenna, Pamela, and I are talking about the Challenge USA Season 2, Episode 10, A Less Perfect Union. I assume they're talking about Wes and Josh. It wasn't a perfect union. It was a less perfect union. Ladies, how are you? Pamela, how are you? We didn't see you last week.
I am good. I've been, no, I was in Chicago and it was busy. I'm good. My cat passed away, which was really sad.
We
And I
heard,
was
yes.
very sad and not to, and my,
Oh, you
I
didn't
know
hear
it's really
Jenna.
sad. Yeah, it's very sad as you can see Larry in the video from when we did our own challenge finale. And I was very sad. It's a very sad feeling. And then Luke had to volunteer, their hotel volunteered at the Palm Springs Animal Shelter. And I fell in love with a kitten. And it's here. And I brought
Already?
it home. Well, everyone was like, no, I'm not ready. But I was like, oh, that one, yeah, I really like it. And it really does ease not that it's replacing Larry, but it helps, it's nice to have something cute to look at. And I'm reminded of baby Larry.
You?
Well, of course, Carter is the champion of everything. Anyway, so it's good. So maybe the little thing will come up. He's impossibly cute. He's very cute. So
Is Carter okay with the new kitten? Carter's
just doesn't look at it. He says no reaction to it whatsoever. No response. He's doing that. What he's doing now, he just
front and center right now. All right, okay.
Carter's not interested.
And then, so what did you think of the episode, Pam?
I am bummed about Wes.
I'm wearing black on purpose, just so y'all know. No one noticed.
Wow.
I'm in mourning right now.
Well, I'm not.
Well, then, Jenna, what are you having?
You are pumped. Jenna's pumped he's not here anymore.
Pumped. It's not that I'm pumped at all. I just think entertainment-wise, it was an exciting episode in terms of who won, who was voted in. And I had a hard time figuring out who to root for, honestly, because you have the underdog storylines and then you have your own biases or the people that have been around forever, the people who you think are going to win. I was flip-flopping the whole time. But I definitely am not like in funeral mourning like you guys.
Well, I didn't finish because what I was going to say was I love Wes, and not that I'm sad to see him go, but I really thought Chris deserved the win after being backed up against he deserved it. He won it fair and square.
You ladies aren't wrong. If Chris was going against anybody besides Wes on this show, I probably would have been rooting for Chris. Like I do like his storyline, and I like what they've, he's gone down. Has it been 2 eliminations in a row now? No.
This was his third total.
But not in a row. Two in a row, right? Yeah.
2 in a row, third total, I think, if not more.
No, I don't think more. That'd be crazy.
There's no better way as a rookie to prove yourself and make your mark than to keep winning. It really is.
It's his third. It's his third.
Yeah.
Okay. But not in a row is what we're saying. Not in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, Jenna, how about you? You just love the episode. You're so pumped Wes is gone. Congratulations, you win.
Well, no, this is what we want, right? We want things. We don't want things to be too
This is what we want. Do you know who you're talking to?
You're right. Wrong. This is not what you want, but this is what a viewer would want, like in terms of things not being predictable. You kind of want, as much as every death in Game of Thrones destroys me, it's what makes the show good. So it's kind of similar here, where you can't have everything so fairy tale, stick to the script. And I can't believe Wes got thrown in and actually left, because a lot of times you see the heavy hitters go in and it's too easy for them. And
he didn't even have the most votes, which sucked too. Tyler had the most votes in that secret vote. It was unreal. And the drama that happens after Wes loses, where they kept the cameras rolling, and they always do, but they actually showed us what happened after the elimination. They never really show you that after talking where they're like, hey, so who the hell voted me, and that kind of stuff. And maybe just because it's Wes and they were like, let's use the footage because it's awesome. That was a really fun situation to see that we don't normally see on the challenge. This episode had some good stuff. That was great.
Yeah, exactly.
My loving Wes this episode was just him clowning Josh too. It was just so funny.
It's true. But they purposely showed the confessional of Wes saying he'll never be my rival. And then, technically Josh isn't the reason he's down there. He's just an additional vote that he got per se. So, but still, it's an additional vote that could have possibly caused him to go down there. So
No, but it's just Josh is crying and me and Wes are so close and Wes is just smiling and he's like, yeah, dude, we're not like, I'm not like that. Josh thinks he's like, I've gotten so close to Wes, I don't want to betray him. And Wes is like, what?
that's a garbage thing for him to say, because then like I don't know, 5 minutes later in the episode, he talks about how much him and Bananas are like best buddies now. And I'm like, well, I thought you just said that you and Wes are new best of friends. And Bananas was 100% right with what he said at the end of the episode, which is like, if there was one shaky ground friendship in this like alliance that they had, it was 100% Wes and Josh. 100%.
Yeah.
Also, well, it almost feels like, don't you feel like, Pam, help me with the pronunciation here. Unrequited, right?
Unrequited.
Unrequited love,
yes,
almost.
Yeah.
Like you see Josh trying to talk to Wes on the treadmill, and Wes is just kind of like, well, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
like,
that was my favorite part of the episode.
Well, it kind of feels like, but say what you will about Josh, but I think his emotions and his friendship and his loyalty are always totally sincere. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's definitely very emotional in his friendships, and he is a really loyal person.
I have a conspiracy for that. Not even a conspiracy, but Josh did not need to vote for Wes. If he was that friendly with him, just throw your vote away to Tyler. Everyone else had Tyler already.
No, but listen though, because what has Wes ever done for Josh in this game that Josh is indebted to him? Nothing. So
no, I'm not denying that, but Josh said he's like, I don't.
Or Josh to cry over how close they are.
Well, that's what I mean about Josh being an emotional person, because he knows that it is Wes's last.
But he still did. You're saying he's so.
But he still knows at the end of the day, because he does
vote for Tyler.
Yes, thank you. Pamela gets what I'm trying to say. He like made it sound like Wes and Bananas were the only balls he could put in there. No, he had a bunch of other balls he could have thrown down there. I didn't get it.
Guys, I don't think it's that crazy. I think he is emotional because he was trying to be friends with Wes, and he feels guilt and he feels bad about that because Josh is a loving, sensitive, emotional person.
Jenna, he could have been friends with Wes by not putting his ball in there.
If you just want to be lovely and let me finish, then maybe I could just do that.
Go ahead.
But at the end of the day, he knows he is not going to win a final. He's not going to win money if Wes is there. He's not likely to do it with Fessy, Bananas, and Corey being there either.
There you go.
But he knows, he sees Wes as his biggest competition. So that is his game choice. That is his game move to make. Him and Wes has never worked together before. Him and Wes have no strong alliance or loving friendship before this season.
I can't wait to disagree with you. Pamela, go first.
The two things can be true. He can be emotional and feel guilty about throwing in Wes, but he can also know this is my way to the final. So that's the thought.
I mean, I think Josh is, it's the old saying, like a friend to all is a friend to none. It's like, you're not that close with Wes. You don't need to cry over Wes.
Thank you.
Vote him in, man up and own it. Yep. Don't sit there and cry. You did have plenty of other votes. I don't even remember what his reasoning was. I think he did say, which I can respect, my best chance of doing this is not going against Wes. A lot of people will be happy if Wes.
But then don't cry about it and make it emotional.
I don't care if you cry, but don't pretend you're best friends. And I don't even mind. I'm not even here to talk about Josh crying, whatever. I'm here to praise Wes for making me remember why it's a whole big Josh shut up world and I'm living in it. So Josh has been moderately likable this whole season, and then this was like, oh, Josh, shut up, why we hate him. It's like, you're not gonna win, first of all, like, so shut up. And then second of all, just say, look, oops, I'm voting in Wes. He's the strongest guy. I don't want to see him in a final. We're not that close. Don't sit there and go, it's really hard for me. You aren't up. That's, I think he's emotional, but I don't believe this. I think he's like delusional, because it's like, you're not
delusional.
Delusional. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like emotionally deluding himself about the level of closeness he has and why he's crying. It's like,
but that's what I mean when I say I do find him to be that sensitive person. So that's why I feel.
But the sincerity is missing. So it's like, if you're sensitive, if I'm like, the animal, then I'm like eating like a roasted pig. It's like, contradicting yourself if you're going to sit and cry about, the inhumane way they treat animals, while you're like gnawing on bacon. It's just like, it doesn't quite connect. There's a disconnect there. So I understand if someone's crying about the animals and protesting and saving them, but like, don't cry about the animals.
I just wish Josh's reaction, like, he obviously had other people he could put in. I just wish his reaction to Wes Like, he's like, come on, dude, just be, hey, I can't beat you in a final. Instead of like, oh, I can't be, I don't, oh. It's not like that, Josh. If you really are friends with him, you would have just voted Tyler. It's that simple.
I don't mind the crying. If Corey and Nelson cry over having to make a decision of voting each other in or something, I believe it. It's real. It's a hard emotional. It's not because people get on me like, oh, Josh is sensitive and you're mean about it. No, Josh is an idiot. And I'm mean about him crying about nonsense.
I'm not, I cry all the time. But my point is that there was no, like, if you were really friends with him, you would never have gotten to that point. I don't like a liar, and I feel like he's lying about how good his friendship is with Wes. I don't think it's that good. He says in the confessional, yeah, we're like best friends this season. Dude, you're not. Stop lying to me. I'm not a dumb viewer. I know what I'm seeing on screen. So then when you pretend or really get emotional over a lie that you told, it throws me completely out of this. I can't watch them doing that.
Agreed. And that's where I think, Jenna, the sincerity gets questionable.
Thank you. Like, that sincerity is not real to me.
What is wrong with you? You're not really good friends. You've sort of been alive this season, kind of, because Josh is on the peripheral of the vets. You know, whatever. It doesn't make you best friends. And if you think it does, Josh, you need to know what a friend is, because Wes is not your friend. Wes ain't crying over you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I hear you guys, completely understand with what you're saying. However, I also feel as though you can still be emotional about making the move. You know what I mean? Like their friendship isn't that long. Obviously, it's new this year. So I think that Josh is fine in his feelings, you know, like if he's feeling that way, then that's valid enough. Like, but I know what you're saying, like make a move, don't cry about it. If you're going to make a move, just be bold and do it. But it's not always that simple. Sometimes, you know, you have to do a thing that you find is hard. You still have to do it, but you're not going to be happy about it. And that's just where I feel like he's coming from.
I will give you that it's not always fun when you know you're hurting someone. And that is I will say that I do believe he's sincere and not wanting to. Okay, Jenna, I will say, have made a point, and I
different takes.
No, but I agree now. I'm saying, right, you can be crying not because you're such best friends with someone and you can't stand to do it, but that it is almost any person, forget Wes and Josh's relationship, a sensitive person might, although Josh has proved not to be that sensitive about other things.
But Pamela, let me throw a stick in that theory here.
Okay.
If I can 100% agree with Jenna, if it was down to Wes and Bananas and he had to make a decision, obviously he's more friends with Bananas, totally get why he has to be emotional. But when you literally can throw away your vote and not have to ever say to Wes, I'm sorry, dude, gave you an extra vote and that may be the reason why the Hopper chose you, then I can't get on board. That's it.
Right. I agree. See, now, I'm so fickle like the wind. Now I'm totally back to where I was, where I understand Josh being upset because it's sad to hurt someone, just in general.
But when you don't have to hurt someone, why are you hurting them? I don't get it. It's so stupid.
Because he'd cry over Tyler too, is my point. He'd be like, oh my God, this is mean.
But at that same point, if Wes's reasoning is, or if Josh's reasoning is, I can't beat Wes in a final, I'm throwing him in there. Go, Josh, because I agree with you on that. But when you're going to play this emotional game, when you didn't have to actually do it, I can't jump on board with that. But we can stop talking about this.
Josh, you're not best friends with Bananas. You're not best friends with Wes. You're not best friends. Like, stop it. You're not best friends with any of these people.
Like, if he wanted to do it with Fessy, okay, say Fessy all day long. I believe that. You guys have been ride or die since the beginning. I get it.
Have they? That's where it's like, I don't even think they're
a little bit more than the freaking Wes and Bananas BS.
They just got thrown together.
This is going to be way too psychiatrist. And I don't even know if this is like totally valid, but he might also have a bit of like a codependency thing where I think he does really like to be liked by others. So I think it also is hard for him to make he's torn because he is sensitive. So he does want to make a game move for his money and for his game, but he doesn't want to do it to Wes because I think he really wants Wes to like him and he does want their friendship to grow and blossom. So I think that's also making him emotional, is that he doesn't want to do something. So I'm just saying, if you guys, like I said before, it's not always easy to make that sort of decision. So if you can do it and rip the Band-Aid off and be numb to it and not have those certain emotions around it, then that's great. But I just don't think that's Josh. I think that he has a hard time doing things where he feels like he's going to get backlash. People might not like him for it. Or if now he feels inauthentic because him and Wes have been friends this season. He doesn't owe Wes anything from the past because they're newer friends. But if he's feeling like, oh shit, like I've been hanging out with Wes every day, I've been talking game every day to Wes, like he's my new friend, but I love him, but I have to do this. I know you're laughing, but like I can empathize with Josh a little bit. Like I get it. He sees the long game, but in that moment he feels sad doing it to somebody, or he might feel like a fraud, like, oh shit, I was being friends with this guy all season. I got to turn around and stab him in the back, which is something Josh doesn't like to do, but he knows he has to. So that's why he's all emotionally conflicted.
I think Josh, okay, would do anything to be one of the cool kids. Like if they were like, Josh, you can have $1 million, or you can be like in with Bananas, Wes, and Tori, and like the challenge bets. Hands down, he would pick being cool with them. Like, I don't think he thinks he's going to win. I think he does all his moves based on what those people are going to think is cool. And he was crying because he was going to like exclude Wes from that. But like, I think he thought it looked cool to Banana. I don't know what his motivation was, because I truly don't. I don't think he thinks he's going to win. So I don't think he took Wes out. I think he wanted to make a move. Now I'm like, Josh is an idiot. I've come around to the other side, where I do think Fessy like wants to win at this point. And if they were like $1 million, you can screw everyone, he would. I think Josh just very badly wants to be one of the cool kids.
Well, now it's almost like Josh has the last laugh, right? Because Wes is kind of making fun of him in his confessionals throughout this whole episode. I'm like, well, Josh
didn't beat him though. It's not like Josh took him out.
No, you're right. And he actually, well, they both did really bad on the Daily Challenge. So that's
they
why
both did really bad. That was another reason. So back to now, I'm like, oh, why are we talking about Josh so much? But that's another reason why I like the episode, is that it did sort of all make sense. It had a poetic justice. Like I liked that Wes, boned up in the challenge today. So it was like, he didn't do good. If we're going to do merit, if you've got no idea, we're just saying that, then it's like throw in Wes today.
All right. Well, we went the distance on this topic, but speaking of going the distance, that's the name of the challenge today. Go the distance. So there you go. They had to jump off this platform and grab batons, and it was all equalized to their height and their weight and their arm span. Who the hell knows? They all just standing there with like, Wes is standing there, like his arms out, and they're measuring him for his certain wingspan for a certain baton. I don't know if I buy into all that crap. I think they made one length for guys and one length for girls, but apparently it was all for them, but whatever.
Calibrated like in Rocky IV when like Dolph Lundgren, like.
Do you remember back in the old challenge though? They never had equalizers way back in the day. Everyone had to just try something and that was it. But they were really,
but they were like bobbing for apples. So it was
exactly.
It was a little more simple.
It was equalized. The game was equalized.
Yeah. Apples for the girls.
Yeah, so I think this was a good elimination. I remember saying to myself, it was 4 days ago, but I remember saying, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. It feels old school to me. I like a simple. Pam, you must have liked it. Very simple, like you didn't have to like think about it. You hate when it's too much.
I loved it. No, I followed it.
Yeah, I followed it right.
Round 1, round 2, round 3. That's why I like baseball. It's like 3 strikes and you're out. Like
very basic rules, right? So I liked it too for that reason. I liked the simplicity of it. And you had to be athletic to do it, and it had a height factor. Kind of, they could fall and hurt themselves, or not hurt, but like fall in an awkward way and make us laugh. Maybe, I don't know, but it was okay.
And Michaela was an outstanding. I mean, we like Michaela, and that was like.
So that part was the best part, obviously.
That was the best part, and I really liked Bananas. He's like, usually when someone's having that kind of hysterical react, like when you're scared, like I've been scared like that, and you're like, like I can't do this. I don't care how stupid I look. I don't care. Like I'm not jumping off a high dive or whatever. And she did it, and that was like super impressive. And won. She's like, won.
Yeah, the fact that she was able to fight through that and keep her composure and make it look so easy. I was almost like, wow, you go from having a panic attack, you're crying, you hate heights so much, but you're grabbing those with ease.
Right.
You're on round 3, round 4, winning. And some people couldn't even get it on the first round, and you're terrified of heights and you're killing it.
Yeah. I like that she explained her thought process, that she's like, I have to do the first one and fight my fear, and then I'll know, like my body will know what to expect and I won't be as scared. And that's, I think, when the panic set in, she's like, I'm still scared. Like it didn't make me less scared. Yeah. I'm still terrified, even though like I've done it already. So am I just going to keep being terrified, which I understand. I like that she shared her thought process, and that makes sense. It's like, all right, I can stand being terrified once, and then I'll know it's not a big deal. But it's like, no, it's not fun, and I don't want to do it again. No, I was really proud of her, and
I was really proud of her too. And Tori's just like amazing. I feel like she's always just good at everything, and it's no sweat about it.
Yeah, I mean,
she made the final. She made the finals with Michaela. Yes,
in the finals. Yes, and Desi did really well. Because at first, so Michaela.
Oh no, it was actually no. Desi was in the final with Michaela. Tori got out the
right.
round before.
You're right. It was just Desi and Michaela. Yeah. Michaela and Tori were in the second like girl heat, even though I guess it was just guy heat, girl heat. So the first round of the girls I felt was so awkward because it was the first part of the challenge and they were all going one at a time. And I didn't know if that was a rule. I was like, wait, do you have to go one at a time?
Right.
This is so awkward because they're all watching each other and they were like going in a line one at a time. But I think that they were all just going at their own pace and waiting it out. And there was a certain buildup for Alyssa that had me convinced that she was going to get it because they gave her like this hero's moment almost. They're showing her, she's like holding on to her life jacket and they're doing a slow pan around her. And she's like, you know, I can't remember exactly what she said. She's like, but I really feel I got to prove myself and I feel like I can do this. And then it was slow build up for nothing. And I was really rooting for her. I was like, I think she's going to get it because they're giving her this little moment and then nothing happens.
I wasn't rooting for her, but it's funny that she's the opposite of like a Desi who's like, I don't know if I can do this. I feel like has imposter syndrome. And Alyssa's like, I think this is really my challenge. I've got long arms. Like, this is the one for me. And I'm like, maybe it is. She feels like unearned confidence. It's like, okay, Alyssa, sure, yeah, you'll probably do good. I was buying it.
This is one of those things I would love to try personally before I cast judgment on how other people did it because you kind of looks, at least the first one looks doable, you know, it looks like easy-ish, but then you have a lot of people in the women's heat who struggled, and then you have Wes, one of the best in the game ever, who couldn't do it. So it's interesting.
You have to be, I feel like I do not have the hand-eye coordination, which is, it seems like it's easy, but I think I would totally miss the thing. Like, it's hard to judge. It does seem easy, like jump and grab, but like when you're in the air like that and it's a second grab, any second you're off. Like, if you've ever played the game where I think it used to be when I was in camp, we called it pickleball, but now pickleball is a different thing where you're swimming and someone from land throws a ball and you catch it in the air and throw it to two people on diving boards. It's just like sort of all about timing and I am not good at it. So it's like that. It's like catching it while you're in the air jumping and then throwing it to the next person. And I'm always
gravity takes you down real quick.
Yeah.
So seeing stuff like in slower motion being filmed, but from your perspective, you're jumping, it's like you feel like you have a quarter of a second to put your hand on that pole.
Yeah, it's hand-eye coordination at its finest. The goal would be to jump and almost try to grab it with two hands in case one hand misses, but to get that extra reach, it's like almost you have to do it with one hand. I thought Fessy should have won this from the start. He's the tallest, he's the longest. I think it's also about running off that board. I wonder how grippy their shoes were, because if that has a lot of slipperiness to that platform, but on the first one, I don't think they touched water, so it should have been pretty dry up there. If they have good grip, then they should have, you know, a little bit better of a push to get that friction off there. But if it's slippery, you're very hesitant. But they were also trying to get their foot stride perfect to match the end of the, and I wonder if they were allowed to walk out there to the edge and actually count their steps almost. 1, 2, 3, you know, on 4 you can jump or not. But like that was also, you could see them all hesitate to get to the end of that, I don't know, diving board, whatever you want to call it, edge of that high thing. So anyways, that's all. Those are my thoughts on it. You know, Fessy should have won that. He was so tall. He's so much longer than the other guys. There's really no reason for him not to win.
For the guys?
Fessy, exactly. Fessy.
Oh, okay. I was like, didn't he win? But okay.
That's what I mean. He should win. There's just, I don't see.
Although he's heavy. I mean, there's always, I don't know. It could be.
He's strong. He can probably jump really high. I mean, someone in our comments wrote down, and I heard about this on the, that podcast they do, the Aftershow, whatever the hell it's called, with Devin and Tori and Anissa and all them. Official Challenge Podcast is what it's called. They talked about how Fessy is like doing that trampoline basketball thing. It was like big in like the late 90s, and they just brought it back. And
Fun.
after this season, he went and joined a league, and now he's like doing
Oh.
professional slam dunk. They like jump on trampolines and play basketball. So the dude's
So he's a good jumper. So
he's
he
a
should
jumper.
be
My
winning
point
this.
is the guy can jump.
Fessy
Yes.
is good at jumping.
Good
So
at
he's-
jumping.
Yep. So he should be winning these then.
Good job, Fessy.
For this one and the last one, he was actually on a trampoline. So there you go. He should definitely win these. Do
Good,
we want to
he
let's move on
should.
to the nominations with Michaela and Fessy? Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. I thought Michaela acts like all holier than now throughout the season about having to be, I would never go against somebody or whatever she wants to do. She's just as selfish as everyone. She got mad at Chris the other week for being selfish and doing stuff. She's being just as selfish in this scene. I just want to throw that out there, and I'll leave it at that. She's totally just as selfish. But I made this point last week with you, Jenna. Everyone on this show's selfish. So when people come out and say that they're not selfish, I just don't buy it, and it really pisses me off. You're all trying to win a shit ton of money. It's okay to be selfish, but don't tell me you're not selfish. You're all fucking selfish. That's all I got.
She also had logic though to her. Oh, go, Jenna.
Go ahead. You started.
She had logic to her selfishness, and she was talking about it with the girl. She didn't even ultimately do it. So
But she wanted to.
She was doing the most logical thing, which I think is the smartest and least both smart and unselfish. It was like, what is the best move? Which you're a moron.
But that's what everybody does. That's what Chris was trying to do, even though he was an idiot last week with doing spreading it too thin with all his moves he wanted to make.
She was very upfront with her alliance that was her thought process.
Yeah, but then she's throwing her alliance, which she's been working with, supposedly.
But
her Survivor girls are screwed.
She also is in that. If she throws in Tori, she's also a target if Tori comes back. It was just something to discuss with the alliance. I think obviously they have to make a TV show. She didn't do it, so I think it was one of many things that were like, I'm thinking of this. What if
I don't know how she was going to pull that off with Fessy as the other guy in the voting thing though, too. So
he didn't care if Tori went in. It didn't seem.
I thought the same thing as you though, Dan. I was actually surprised that it sounded like Fessy threw out Tori's name as somebody he would consider, and I was like, oh, okay. I thought maybe that veteran alliance was going to be stronger and that he was going to actually say, I want to protect her. But I was surprised that he threw out her name. No, I agree with you in terms of selfishness. Everybody does play a selfish game, but I guess the problem is who you vocalize that to and how soon. So that is where Chris fell last week, was because obviously he has to look out for himself. That's what everybody is doing. But the way who he shared that information with and his ideas with is what ultimately screwed him. And I was wondering that about Michaela, because it did start to plant a seed for Desi. At least we saw in her confessional, she started to say, oh, you're starting to see that Michaela can be selfish in this game. And it's like, to your point, Dan, yes, everybody is. You have to look out for yourself. But I guess you just always have to think about who you're talking to, how they're going to interpret it,
Yeah, the numbers are dwindling too. So at least she was ride or die for a while with those girls before she starts.
Right. And she still does. Yeah, I don't think she did anything wrong. I think,
Well, no one is doing anything wrong when they like Chris didn't do. You could say Chris did something wrong, but again, he was just trying to do what he thought was best, or he thought he could trust Michaela with the Michelle information, and it didn't work out. He's not trying to get himself kicked off this show or go into eliminations. He doesn't want to. Now he's doing it every week, so he doesn't want to do this stuff.
I think the person that plays the most honest game, to be completely honest, is Fessy, because he's like, here for me, don't care, like, here for me. I feel like he's not pretending when they were like, what team are you on? He's like, mine. I'm team like me. It's true. He doesn't care about Tori when it comes down to it. It's getting close to and I don't even know that honesty is such a virtue, but
I think people also know who he's already rolling with, so it's kind of smart on Fessy's part to not. Why divulge that information? You already know I'm probably with Josh, but I'm not going to tell you that. I'll just say I'm here for me. Like, it's a good move, but we know you're with Josh.
An idea too is that he hasn't really been tested yet. Unfortunately, Survivor and a lot of these girls, I mean, they've been pretty safe because they've been able to get out Big Brother and point the finger a little bit. But it's getting down to the wire now, and they're being tested. So I think that's what's different too, is like Fessy hasn't had to make a decision between Corey and Josh yet. He hasn't really had to throw people under the bus. And it's getting to that point for the Survivor girls where now they have to turn on each other. There's literally nobody left. Now that Alyssa's out and Tori is the only person who's not a Survivor girl, and 3 of them kind of have a agreement with Tori. Now shit's going to get real. So really, what can they do? They have to kind of turn on each other. So
well, I think it would be really smart if Cassidy went to Tori and said, look, I'm at the bottom of this this garden party ain't no fun anymore. I should probably try to team with you. I'll help. Let's work on each other and try to get us to win this next challenge, and then vote them 3 in, because Cassidy's next. Cassidy is 100% next. I think Michelle, Chanel, and Michaela, right? And Desi. Oh my God. Yeah.
Michelle's not in that alliance, which is funny.
She's a
Michelle,
Survivor girl, isn't she? She's survived.
Yes and no, but not the strong girls. They apparently don't consider her one
So
of the
who is it? Is
girls.
it's Desi, Chanel,
and
Tori and
Chanel,
Michaela are the ones that had that discussion. They're considering themselves the strongest girls.
they had a discussion, but I do think that they would be willing to turn on Tori very quickly. Like
I
Michaela,
do too. And Tori shares a room with Cassidy, which we learned. So I think they need to do their own thing, at least on the women's side, as far as getting some numbers up.
I want Tori and Michaela to just break, to be like, listen, we are the 2 best. Fuck the rest of them.
I think Desi's still really good.
Desi's really good.
I think Cassidy is showing herself to be pretty good too.
Cassidy's pretty good.
Unless Cassidy went out early on this jumping thing. I don't really remember of it.
No, Cassidy's great. She did, actually. I think she was the first girl. She just doesn't have the brute strength of a Tori or Michaela, who are like physically stronger. But I don't think Desi has the mental fortitude that a Michaela showed this time, and that we know Tori has, just because she's just like I think Tori is just a competitor that can switch off her mental when she's like, like she can just switch off like the inner whatever and compete. And Michaela, I think, is almost the opposite, but like logics her way through a competition. I think Desi, we saw her almost sort of break down on her episode when she had to go into just whatever they're called, an elimination. I think that's what makes Michaela and Tori stronger. I think they have that like boom that it takes. There's a lot of head.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, everybody shows their emotions differently. So
everyone has different strengths in this game as well. I think it's all going to come into play. It might just be a challenge that someone's good at and someone's not. I think they're all pretty strong.
Michelle,
they are.
Michelle has a really good place in this game because she is considered Survivor with Survivor girl numbers. But at the same time, I feel like the vets are in with her too. No veteran has been saying her name at all. I feel like she's really well protected because I know that she's strong in things that we've seen in the past, but so far this season, she hasn't been doing shit. I don't think Michelle has had a great season. I was just going to bring it up after you, Jenna. I don't think she's really done anything this season. I think she's just aligned really well. And I think if push comes to shove, I think she could lose in an elimination. And I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't believe she lost. I think that Desi could beat her. I think Cassidy could beat her. I think Michaela could beat her.
She's usually such a target though. So I'm excited for her to have a season. I'd like to see her in she when her and Jay were always the target, whatever season that was.
Yeah, I remember.
They did really well. So again, I think she's
I think Michelle's hit or miss. I've always thought that about her.
I agree. I like though that she's fallen under the radar because we've seen other seasons where she's dramatic and she puts a target on herself very quickly, or a target gets put on her. I'm not saying it's her fault per se. But she's always been up against that. So I'm glad she's sort of like, even in this episode, she was saying that Cassidy was mentioning this stronger alliance, and she's like, and I'm not a part of that. So she doesn't know I voted for her. So great. Don't think of me as that. I'd like to see what Michelle could do in a final. I'm not saying I think her and Cassie are pretty on par players, where they're smart and good endurance and whatever. They just don't have the physical giant, strongness of Tori.
I have the feeling I don't know, because she does have those veteran numbers, but I kind of feel like she might be the next person up because Cassidy is the scapegoat. Cassidy and Chris, I think, are going to be the people that names are said until the finals. Like, they are literally going to have to win their way to that final. They are not going to get there without winning the dailies or seeing elimination every single episode. Like,
I think a Tyler for the guys. I think Tyler might be as well.
Tyler,
Chris,
Michelle, and Cassidy.
And I think Michelle might be the next person up too.
You know who I think it's going to be? Not Michelle. I think it's going to be Chanel, the other one.
I think those girls are going to turn on each other soon. And I predict Michelle for a win of the next daily challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my prediction. She's a super sneaky player too, and will like turn it out when she needs to.
So Alyssa S and Chris are the nominators. They're nominees. They got nominated. And then in the secret vote, I mean, we kind of went over this a little bit, but Wes got 3. He would have only had 2 if it weren't for Josh. Tyler got 7. Bananas got 2. Those are the guys. And on the girl side, it was Tori 2, Michelle 1, and Cassidy got 9. And then there you go, Jenna. That's what you're saying. They're just going to keep throwing her in. Why not? Why keep burning? Why not? Why burn other bridges? Just keep burning that vote on Cassidy.
I know. It just sucks to be in her position. She's the Cara Maria of that one season that we always reference because she's such a lone wolf now. What can she do? This is just her fate. She literally has to win. Like, I don't think, unless she does some heavy politicking, I think it might be too late for her to get into one of these alliances.
Talk to Tori. Go over, talk to Tori. She's good at that.
Yeah, but Tori can protect her for how long, you know? I think she should try it. She should totally try it. Yeah. But
more things do you think we have before?
Oh,
like how many more dailies do you think we'll even have? 1 or 2?
Well, how many? We're on episode 10.
Yeah.
Well, they just did a double, so maybe 1 or 2. Yeah.
I bet there's 12. I bet there's 12 episodes. Maybe 12 episodes. What do you think?
Yeah,
well, no, we can figure this out. The challenge season 39 is airing on October 27th, correct?
I don't know, but yay.
Jenna's looking it up right now. I can tell.
Well, okay. I'll look it up. I was looking at my calendar just to see how many weeks away that is.
Okay, or do that. I think it's October 27th. That's a month away.
That would be 4 weeks, but that's a Friday, so it might be October 26th, but that'd be 4 weeks.
Okay.
So it should wrap up in the next 3 weeks then, right? So that it doesn't overlap.
So or I guess
like
TV. 3 more episodes. One's got to be a final. Maybe only 2 more eliminations, if not just 1 more next week. But that still means there's a ton of people in this game. Like there's going to be 6 and 6, 12 people running a final?
No, I think 4 and 4.
So then, we have to do some more eliminations then is my point.
Then they have to do more doubles.
A double. Yeah. Double or they might do the final, one of those things where it's like, all right, you 5 are in the final, girls and guys, and then like 2 people are out, like the people that don't make the first.
Right. Yeah.
It looks like there's
are out right away.
The final before the final. Final. Yeah.
I'm probably doing my math wrong, but it looks like there's 12 people left, 6 guys and 6 girls.
Yeah. So it could be 1 more daily. And then we go to 5 and then we do the final, but the first round is an elimination, really.
Yeah, there's 6 and there's 12 people left, 6 and 6.
I mean, it's pretty wild that Tyler eluded this elimination and Wes got voted in. The 7 versus 3.
Oh, that killed me. Oh. Yep.
But this is what I'm saying about it being perfect TV. Like, do we want to see Tyler in again? We know he's going to go in. Him and Chris.
Then one of them, then Chris or Tyler would have gone home. I don't care. Good. Wes can stay another week.
It was good TV because I liked Wes Peter Panning. I'm so in control.
Wes Peter Panning was hilarious. Yes. That was great.
Yes, if he could have kept that up, it was a great strategy.
It just sucks because he obviously lost by 1, but also Alyssa S. We got to talk about her. She did a lot better than I thought that she would do in this, and she also lost by 1. So, it was.
I actually, I found it very difficult rooting for the girls' elimination because I'm fine with Alyssa. Like, Pam, I know you have some heated feelings. You just don't think she should be on the show.
I don't think she's a bad person anymore. I've gotten over that. I think she's just truly dumb. Like
she's obviously. Bananas brought it up, Jenna. She said she's the layup.
Yeah, but I love an underdog.
Me too.
She was physically larger than Cassidy, though, which literally is a benefit. So I feel like it was her.
Really, they're like the same.
But it was
if you've got a
Especially-
much bigger
She had
reach,
longer arms. She had longer arms. You made me feel like she was like just like bigger, like stronger. She has longer
she's
reach.
but she's got a bigger, she even said it, she's got a bigger reach and a little bit, I think Cassidy's quite petite. It's hard to tell. They all, you know,
Alyssa
it's not
S is petite. Who's saying Alyssa S?
she's I mean, Cassidy looks like she's 5'2" and 115 pounds.
And you're thinking
Alyssa looks
5'6"
like
on
5'6" and
Alyssa.
150. Yeah, like not just bigger, not
I just-
big.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
always
calling
think
Alyssa has a beautiful body. I'm not. I'm
No,
just saying
I know you're not
Cassidy
saying
looks-
that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but I think she was physically larger in scale than Cassidy, and she was saying that this is hers to
Yeah.
lose, and that this is one of those things where it helps if you can grab a hold of someone and tug them and hold them and secure them.
Yeah, I mean, I was just really impressed with Alyssa S in this actually, and I think it's great when people can surprise you and show up and impress you and surpass what you think that their capabilities are. But the thing is, it was such like a up and down ride for who I was rooting for, because I went into it like Cassidy has to win. She has to come back. Her name keeps getting called. I want her to win every single elimination she gets thrown into, because she just like doesn't have a dog in this fight. She's like such a lone wolf. Let her keep coming back and pissing people off because they keep just like using her as a scapegoat. But then Alyssa was performing so well. I was kind of like, shit, well, go ahead, Alyssa. Like, if you win and you
Yeah.
deserve to be here.
That's
Like,
the way I
almost,
looked at it. Yeah.
I almost found myself
Oh.
like, go ahead, win this. Like, that's
I assume Pamela was 100% rooting for Cassidy then.
100%. Alyssa was fine, you guys. I think you're giving her way too much credit.
No, I'm not trying to give her credit. I like to see an underdog win. And if they're going to show us more with her and Tyler, if it hope maybe it's good stuff. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna
Alyssa's not an underdog. She sucks. Cassidy's the underdog who like keeps proving herself.
All
Alyssa's
right,
just
I can
not
jump
good.
in. I can buy into
fair.
that.
Again, also like, I don't know, if Alyssa like really pulled out something and this was such a bizarro, it's like swing and pull patches that,
Okay,
you know.
but Pamela, with that said, did you think Alyssa was going to do as well as she did? Because I did not. So that's why I was impressed.
I mean, I'm not that impressed that she pulled patches off Cassidy's back. No.
But Cassidy
I
got to
think
fight
this-
against it.
I think this elimination is tougher than Pam is giving credit. I think
agree.
it was super physical. I think
Yep.
this was like a fist fight without actually being able to punch. Like,
Correct. I
this
thought,
was
and I
so
saw,
physical.
I thought I
You
saw
had-
Chris like almost like hitting Wes
But
like
I
that.
think she had the upper hand so much that it wasn't like,
God, I know she has a longer reach, but if you're stronger than another person, you're going to outweigh
no, but
a
imagine
gangly arm at
Fessy
you.
going against someone. He's got if you're bigger and you're both playing the same kind of, unless you're Jordan and you come up with like, I bobbled in and out, swirled around and no one could touch me. Like, unless you come up with some bizarro scientific way to win. It
Who had a
kinda
longer
gets
reach?
into-
That their strength and weaknesses cancel out each other more evenly, kind of like Dan is saying. Like with Fessy, he's so big, strong, reach, everything. But with Alyssa, all it really was her reach.
Right, exactly.
You know, like she's not like built, she's not really as like feisty or, you know, like Cassidy,
Mhm.
I think has strengths that enough of
And-
her strengths cancel out Alyssa's reach.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm not like, I swear I'm not even trying to hate on Alyssa. I wasn't, I'm genuinely I wasn't like surprised or impressed. I was like, oh, good thing Cassidy won, even though she's smaller. Like that's
Yeah,
how
I mean,
felt.
I guess I just didn't even see Alyssa getting 8 patches for some reason. Like
Correct.
just
Yes,
I
I
didn't
guess
either.
that's what.
given her track record, I was like, she's gonna get 2 patches. Like, I don't know. I just did not think anything.
I just
of
thought she was going to be up there. I thought she wasn't even going to be able to get to Cat. I thought she wasn't going to understand how this mechanism worked. You always say
You're
she's
right.
not smart, Pamela. I was
For
surprised she
having
didn't
to
actually
be
get
like
a grip.
such a low bar, she didn't fail as hard as we thought she would, or you guys thought she would. I
would say she
thought
was even
that
successful.
patch. Yeah, she
Cassidy
could
only got 1 more patch, and it was not looking good for Cassidy when Cassidy went on offense either. Like Alyssa was skirting by her the whole time. I was like, Cassidy, yikes, this is not looking good for you. But then once she
Yeah.
finally was able to catch on to her, she ripped off that 1 extra patch with just enough time. It was pretty close though.
Oh yes.
Are you
But-
ladies ready?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Jenna.
No, I was just gonna say, all said and done though, even though the elimination did kind of mess with me a little bit in terms of who I was rooting for, after everything, I was very happy that Cassidy won because of what this means for the show, you know?
Here's my big conspiracy of the night. I think and tell me if you think I'm way off base on this.
Okay.
All right. So we know that Wes got 9 out of 10. Okay. And then we saw that Chris was up there, and we could tell there's probably only like 1 or 2 more patches left on Wes. when Chris was trying to get his patches off. They had that mother effer countdown going 10, 9, 8, all the way down to 1. And then they show Chris rip off Wes's last patch with 1 second to remain. I call bogus. I call conspiracy. I don't think it was really down to the buzzer. I think that he got the last patch off. TJ blew the buzzer. They could have been 20 seconds, 30 seconds left on that timer. And I don't think it was really 1 second left. Bullshit conspiracy. That's what I think. That's what it was. It was garbage. It was a bullshit edit to me.
I don't think they were conspiring for Chris.
No, Jenna, Pamela, you're telling me there was only 1 second left when Chris got that laugh patch of Wes on it, made it that dramatic?
I don't know about that. Oh, you're saying that they just made it more.
They made it look like there was 1 second left. There was no way. I don't believe it.
I'll buy it, sure.
I believe that Chris won. I believe Chris won. I'm just saying I don't believe there's only 1 second left when he did win.
Well, it definitely made for better TV that way.
But that's my point, though, Jenna. It didn't for me. If they do it every time, it's not really happening to me.
Yeah, I get you. It becomes too like fantastical, and you're like, okay, this is not believable.
Like Josh, like, oh, my coffee. You can't buy it anymore as like totally sincere, or else he's the most sensitive person in the world.
Okay, kind of. I get. Okay.
And he loves everybody.
Jenna just wants to believe he's just that emotional. It's
I
always
guess
happening.
Drink the Kool-Aid, and I'm not even
He's obviously emotional. I'm not saying he's not emotional.
No, I know you're not.
I don't know where it's coming from, because I don't believe that it's coming from his best friendship with Wes.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay, we beat that horse.
Yeah.
Dead. Yes, Wes flying in the air, but actually it was Chris that did that first. He just didn't do it as consistently. I actually noticed it, right?
They both did it, but Wes's was just like Wes's.
I didn't know if you could do that. I was wondering that for the girls. I was like, can you just like kick off and try to not be attached to that for as long as possible? But I didn't really see the girls go for it. And then Chris did it for like a second, but Wes really stuck to it. So I'm wondering, I don't know, could you have just done that the whole time, or was there some kind of rule against it?
Obviously he wanted to try to, but when he ran out of momentum, he came back on and Chris was waiting for him. So, and then he hugged him. He wrestled him. He had his legs wrapped around Wes. It was
that was conspiracy strategy. I couldn't think about what I would do I felt like I would kick a lot. Like the girls weren't kicking each other. I would be like, unless it was a rule that you can't, I feel like I'd be kicking you off me, because the defense is hard in this game, I think. But once I saw Chris just straddle him and lock his legs around, I was like, this is a done deal. Like,
I know, and it's
got him crushed. Yeah,
I was freaking out at my TV. Yeah.
My conspiracy is just that the people that went second or went to be the patch grabber second had a big advantage. Like,
oh, do you think? Because you're covered.
I think I think in this one it's equal, because the tagger got to see their strategy for staying away from them, and then they could either implement that or try something new too. So I think, I think if anything, if I don't know who went first, let's be honest, we don't know if the guys went first or the girls went first. So whoever went first in that regard, I think definitely has the advantage. If the guys got to watch the girls, which is what they made it look like, then the guys had the advantage, or vice versa. We don't really know. They can do whatever order they want in the final. They literally, Wes could have gone before Chris, and we don't know. He could have been the we don't know though, right? They just showed us Chris going first, and it could have been reversed. We have no idea really as well. We don't know. I got a question for you ladies.
Okay.
Who do you think is the better competitor this season, Chanel or Cassidy? If you had to pick one, like say you're doing a draft, or say you're doing fantasy football and you want someone to play in that week for you, who are you putting in your lineup, and who are you sitting on the bench?
Daily or final? I think
I'm just, for the whole episode. If they had to go in a daily challenge, elimination, who knows what they're going to have to do? They could have to be in
Cassidy.
Okay,
but if I
Jenna?
had to pick a player, I might say that.
If you had someone, how about if you had to have someone on your team the entire season, Pam? Is that better? Who's going to make it? Who's not? You got Cassidy or Chanel?
Cassidy, but she's eking out with we haven't really seen Chanel shine, so I don't, and we've gotten to see Cassidy shine a little bit.
Before I say anything, I want Jenna to go.
It's really tough because surface level, like knee-jerk reaction is Cassidy, just because we've actually seen her win 2 eliminations and we've seen her do a little bit better in dailies than Chanel. But Cassidy's been in more eliminations. Like her name is up on the chopping block more.
Okay.
So it's like, even though Cassidy's been performing better, Chanel's been able to stay under the radar and
so Chanel's got a better alliance. I totally agree with you on that.
And then sometimes that gets you further. So it does become hard to pick. But I guess in terms of like player profile, I don't know. I guess Cassidy, but I don't know. Yeah, it's tough because she's more vulnerable than Chanel.
I'm also picking Cassidy, and the reason but so I'm bringing this up only because for some reason at the end of this episode, I don't know if Chanel talks smack about Cassidy or she says something where she's like, I'm so much better than Cassidy. She says something. I don't know what context my line is about, but basically I wrote down I think Cassidy's better than Chanel. Chanel must say something either in the next on the challenge or at the end.
The girls, if they wanna, she said they're gonna pick off. If Tori goes in this week, then next week it's gonna be me, or they're thinking they're the strongest. They're saying it's always gonna be Cassidy versus whoever. Because
anyways, I just think that I don't know. I just wrote down that I think Cassidy's better than Chanel. I know we haven't seen Chanel that much, but I just think her alliance is really good. And yeah, you can ride that long, but like, I want to see you in something before I can say if I can trust you to be good at an elimination. Cassie's already proved herself. Has she been in 2 now?
She's been in 2, and they both have been against the Big Brother Alyssas.
Alyssa Lopez and Alyssa S.
Yes. Yes. So maybe Cassidy and Chanel is the final showdown we need to see who's better.
There we go.
And I would definitely be rooting for Cassidy. Like that's easier than
I think. So. I think it would take a lot for me to switch sides now. I think Cassie's just she's in our hearts more because we've seen her do more things. Yeah.
Exactly. We only had Chanel's like personality. She hasn't been outstanding in dailies, or she hasn't. I don't think she's ever gone into.
She made it to the second round of that. Last week where they had to do the math and they had to jump on the trampoline, or was that another week? But whatever week that was.
Make it to the second round. Yes.
And then she said she was really good at basketball, and then she didn't really do much in that. But yeah.
But she only had one big moment, I feel like, this season, and it was like fighting with Josh, which I liked, but then she got shot down.
Well, I also thought for the
know her as well.
She said she played a lot of basketball or whatever. I don't know, probably maybe in college, maybe high school. I don't know when she played it. Yeah, but she played it like in the league of some kind, a high school league, whatever it was. I thought she'd be better at the grabbing the baton thing. I thought like basketball's all about building your calf muscles, having that or your not your hams, your glutes too, your ass, your everything, your strong legs. God damn it, strong quads, hamstrings, all that good stuff. And I thought she'd be better at jumping. That's all. I don't know. Grabbing that baton.
She said also in the basketball one. Now I'm reminded. She said like, "Oh, I'm up. This is like for me again," and she didn't do anything.
I don't remember what she did. I'm trying to think how far. Oh, I know she. Hold on. She made it to. No, she out first round.
She has not been outstanding at all.
She was out first round for that. I wrote it down.
Yeah. Everything we've seen from her has just been game strategy and alliance.
And you know who else was out first round in the baton tonight? It was Michelle, who again, I don't really think that. And then Alyssa S. You don't want to be in Alyssa S's category, damn it. I'm sorry, but you don't want to be in that category.
Yeah.
And then look who made it. It was Cassidy, Desi, Tori, and Michaela made it to the next round for that.
Yeah, I liked Cassidy's little bark back after she went into elimination. I'm always like, I just take that by case basis, because sometimes I feel like some people are like so showboaty or annoying after they win or something. But I like when people win and then they have something kind of like valid to say. And I felt like she has been in twice and she was able to just kind of speak what was on her mind and say what was true. Like, you guys keep throwing me in and I'm proving myself. If you like, maybe take a stab at it, you know?
I want to say one more thing. I grew up on a lake, as we all know, and they were all rocking O'Brien life jackets. O'Brien was we loved our O'Brien life jacket my whole life. That was our brand that we bought for life jackets. We always had O'Brien. So, yep, O'Brien life. So give a shout out to O'Brien.
Hashtag O'Brien.
Yep. And it's not spelled Brian, it's Brien. O'Brien, like that.
Whoa,
O'Brien.
Fancy.
So that was the life jackets that I used my entire life. Yeah, we loved them.
Yeah,
and that's what they had on. So I was happy to see that they use those life jackets. We got a hard out in 1 minute.
I gotta go.
So we gotta
I have
go.
a final question. Oh, do you guys believe Wes is really going to retire forever?
That's a great question.
I don't know.
No, I do not.
I don't either.
Jenna, no, you said no.
I think, yeah, I have a feeling he'll be back.
I'm saying this for multiple reasons, as we all know why. I want to see him again, obviously too, but I also think this he's coming back. Yeah, not for a while. He's gonna wait till his kid's a little older.
Years, challenge the next generation with the baby.
Jenna, if you have to go, just pop up because she might.
Do okay.
Pamela might keep popping.
All right, bye guys. All right.
We're all going. Okay.
Thanks everybody. All right. Well,
yeah.
Dan, hopefully Wes will come back.
Yeah, I do too. I know.
I'm
Now we're
sure
just
he
gonna
will.
keep recording. We're just gonna keep
Okay.
recording. Yeah.
All right. Well, we can go. Thank you all. Thank you, Dan.
Of course.
We're both wearing black to mourn.
I really wore black because I was in memorial for Wes's being possibly never on the show again. I purposely wore this.
We can make him a slideshow.
He had a great run.
He did.
So, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Bye, everyone. We'll see y'all hopefully by the end of this week or next week. We'll figure it out.
All right.